At the T-minus 3-minute mark, tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. We have ignition sequence start. The engine's now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. We have a launch commit and we have a liftoff. Moving back. The Saturn V lifting off with power.
This is WOMMLP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. Good evening. It is the Rocket Shop once again. I'm your host, Tom Proctor, and with me tonight is Heady Betty, a.k.a. Emily Pocock. Hello.
What up, y'all?
How's it going?
I'm going, just really excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure to have you in. Really glad that you've come in. We always like kicking it off with a song. So what have you got for us?
All right, this first song I got is something that I'm dropping on my EP that is coming on Spotify. It is called Modest and Rich Life. So I hope y'all enjoy. Here we go. Yeah. Alright, I got big bands when I pull up on that block now. Senior man, he a pig, he a cop now. Born independent, booty splendid, that's hereditary. I be dropping calls when discourse ain't really necessary. Damn, I'm just tryna live my life, smoke two fat L's like I'm tryna lose my life. Hey, who's that there? I'm the one they prophesize, hypnotize, mystify men and women on my line. Run it up, come from the bottom like uppercuts. Wildin' and getting confused, had to remind them that I am a cannibal. Big fish, eat it up, big plate, eat it up. Hungry fish, eat it up, set my place, eat it up. Modest, nah, see, I'm just being honest. Give me brain, I take that boy to college. Keep him on my call list, modest. That ain't what you call this, I'm gorgeous, I'm flawless. I'm eating, you starving. Modest, nah, see, I'm just being honest. Give me brain, I take that boy to college. Keep him on my call list, modest. That ain't what you call this, I'm gorgeous, I'm flawless. I'm eating, you starving. Rich life, and I ain't paying for it. Pull up in that new whip, that new drip, they can't afford it. I just keep my income coming in a steady pour. But I got a new grip on music, ain't ready for it. Rich life, and I ain't paying for it. Pull up in that new whip, that new drip, they can't afford it. I just keep my income coming in a steady pour. But I got a new grip on music, ain't ready for it. You be stressed out and dressed up, overdue to acting up. I be iced out, VVS'd up, yes sir. Wrist on glow like lights at intersections. Ratchet hoes making moves with no discretion. You ain't passed the test, I'm texting all your best friends. And when I'm done with one, I say go ahead, bring the next in. I'm in the penthouse, I ain't paying rent now. Looking at my bed, but you sleeping on that red couch. Modest, nah, see, I'm just being honest. Give me brain, I take that boy to college. Keep him on my call list. Modest, that ain't what you call this. I'm gorgeous, I'm flawless. I'm eating, you starving. Modest, nah, see, I'm just being honest. Give me brain, I take that boy to college. Keep him on my call list. Modest, that ain't what you call this. I'm gorgeous, I'm flawless. I'm eating, you starving. Rich life, and I ain't paying for it. Pull up in that new whip, that new drip, they can't afford it. I just keep my income coming in a steady pour. But I got a new grip on music, ain't ready for it. Rich life, and I ain't paying for it. Pull up in that new whip, that new drip, they can't afford it. I just keep my income coming in a steady pour. But I got a new grip on music, ain't ready for it.
All right, Modest Rich Life by Heady Betty there. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, where you live now, how you got here.
So I'm from North Carolina. Go Panthers. I came up here on a scholarship to UVM. It was not my first choice. Being from the South, I did not have much interest in coming into the polar vortex up here, but we made it work. I started snowboarding, so I started really loving my time here. And I figured out that being trapped inside in the darkness is a really great way to get music going, start new hobbies. So that's where we ended up where we are today.
So talking of which, you said you came up here and it sounded like, you picked up a few hobbies like snowboarding and whatnot. Did you only really start writing when you were up here, or did you start writing when you were down in North Carolina as well?
Nah, so I first started writing music. Well, I first started freestyling. Back down south, all my friends would freestyle. and we would all diss on each other. But like I was the only girl in the group, and I was the only one who wouldn't freestyle, and all of them would be hating on me like so hard. So I was like I got to do this. I got to just figure it out. I'm creative enough. I can make it work. So I would just start listening to Lil Wayne beats in my car, in my Jeep Grand Cherokee, bumping, rolling through town, just start practicing over and over again. Just you got to let go of like sounding stupid because, you know, it's only you in the car. So that was where I really started. And then I remember the first time that I started spitting back on my homies, and they would like just be like, damn, Emily, I can't come back at that. I don't know what that is. So that was when I first started to be like, okay, I want to start writing this stuff down and kind of like putting stuff together.
So where did it go from there? So you were writing it a little bit in North Carolina, and then you came up here. Was it from the go up here, or is it taking a little bit of time to kind of go from doing freestyle to actually kind of recording and finding beats and whatnot?
It did take a while. At first, I just started freestyling and like being a young girl out here on my own. I would like kind of try and get in those circles at parties and be like, hey, excuse me, I can freestyle, you know. But nobody wants to hear it. Nobody listens to that shit. That's not how you come in. So eventually I started just inserting myself into those situations, and just I came prepared with like a line or two, and then I knew that like the rest would start flowing. And that's how I started like getting friends who I would freestyle with and just like hang out in the living room and just start shooting.
And so when did it kind of make that step up? When did you like, you know, buy the fancy microphone and figure out how to kind of, you produce your own songs? That's right.
So I started out like mixing and editing all my own songs. That was like my very first song that I did. I just found this beat that I loved, and I just like I had this chorus in my head that kept playing over and over again. I ain't with too much chillin'. I save that shit for the children. You ain't gonna see me walking out the church without a fit that's fresh and that's killing. And I could just hear that in my head over and over again. And I was like, okay, like, you know, GarageBand's free on your MacBook. I have the access to the beat. I can just do it into my headphones on like from an iPod, like, you know, Apple headphones. And quality wasn't great, but I started messing around with editing. And for this project that I'm putting out, I'm trying to outsource and pay somebody to do the mastering and the mixing. Otherwise, we'll be waiting a long time for me to figure all that out.
But you did get yourself to like a competent enough level to really start making like some really listenable tracks. There's certainly a degree of skill that you kind of put into it this far.
Yeah, for sure. I had to get there to kind of like pitch myself to people and let them know that I could do more than just freestyle, and that I could make choruses, I can make hooks, I can make verses that make sense and that all go together, and I can put it on a track and play it for people and they'll like it. So that was kind of where I first started. I made that first song, and I kind of just did it out of like fun and being like, this is good, and I want to have it like come to fruition. And then I started showing it to a few people, and they were like, this is good, like you should show it to more people. So that was kind of how I got in touch with my friend Ben, who kind of like helped me go from there, really kind of gave me like the tips, told me I needed to get a real microphone, like, you know, told me to like keep working at it. Also, like, you know, all my friends were super just encouraging me to keep doing it. So that's what I did. I love it. I can spend like 8 hours a day just like recording and re-recording, and I know it pisses everybody off in my house, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
And Ben is Ben local? Is Ben from around Vermont?
He is Ben Kennedy.
And so how, in terms of the hip hop scene in Vermont, we've talked a lot on this show about how collaborative music is in Vermont, but we're really talking about kind of, you know, folk music, band music, even hardcore and whatnot. There's definitely an audience out there and like a scene, and there's a lot of collaboration. But does that kind of go with hip hop as well?
For sure. I've had a group of like, I don't know, probably 10 guys who rap around here, like Chice and some of their friends. I had them all come back to my house, and we had like a super fun night just recording and like trying to put stuff together. that is about the extent I've had with rapping with other people. I've also been like kind of just putting my feelers out there. I find for me personally though, I do my best work by myself. So if I did like collaborate with somebody, it would probably look like me doing some stuff on my own and bringing it to somebody else. But that being said, I did come back from Arizona recently, and I had a 6-hour layover in Denver, and I hit up my friend Carlos, who's Los on Spotify and SoundCloud, and we ended up in that 6-hour layover making a sick song together. Just like he heard my stuff and he was like, I'm ready, let's do it. And that was like the best layover I've ever had.
So it definitely sounds like you got, almost like an addiction at the moment, a real drive to kind of get as much down as possible. I mean, literally going out the airport and writing a track and producing a track in 6 hours and wanting to sit down and do this for 8 hours a day. Is it that you've got like hundreds of tracks kind of on the go at the moment? What's the kind of creative process? Are you just laying down like small pieces of this, or is this like a whole track at a time and you kind of churning out one after the other in a kind of more of a one after the other kind of fashion?
I mean, I truly work like a Gemini, which is I start one project, get halfway through, I hate it, I'm sick of it, I want to start a new project, same thing over and over again. And then it just gets to the point where I'm like, damn, I've already started like 10 projects, I can't start another one before I finish one. And then I start going back and listening. I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as I remember when I recorded it, 300 times in one day. So that I kind of just like go back, pick and choose my favorite ones. But then there's sometimes when like I just like hear a beat and I get something going and I can just like do the whole thing at once. And that's a really rare occasion, but I really appreciate it because then things start going really, really quickly. But I mean, to be honest, that's not always my best work.
What was that first track for you? Was that kind of just a snippet, or was that like a whole track? How did that work out for you?
So that one I've actually been working on for a really long time, and I went through so many different hooks with that, and I pitched them all to Ben and all my friends, and every time they'd be like, "Yeah, that's okay, like that's okay," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not like good enough," and so I just like. I also like do my best work when I'm driving and I'm by myself. So I just kept churning out different hooks, kept thinking about different things, and then I found something so what I actually ended up using. And I recorded it when I got home, and at first I like hated it and I erased everything. So eventually I came back to it and just kind of like sometimes your perspective just shifts, and I ended up rewriting a lot of those verses over quite a bit of time, but I think that's probably one of my best songs.
So you definitely describe yourself as a perfectionist. Is that part of your process?
Every now and then, about things that I really, really care about, It's not going to be everything, but the things that are important.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of, you said you do some of your best work while driving. Is it you just have like a voice memo on your phone or something? Do you kind of just keep it all up in your head?
So I will just play the beat over and over again, usually on YouTube. Shout out to my dad for still paying my phone bill because I've ran out of data so many times doing this. But yeah, just replay it over and over again, and then I will like say it out loud. And when I hit something that I think is good, I'll just be like, all right, that's what I'm saying here. And then I'll just keep doing it over and over again. I'll start it from the beginning and just until things start to like flow out of me coming from the first things that I do.
Right. Well, we would love to hear another track. So what you got for us?
So this one is called Top Chef.
All I need is a title. I was thinking along the lines of no TV and no beer make Homer something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do!
Like Ritalin when he giving me attention. You could try and beat me cause I need the competition. You ain't see me yet, Nah, I'm the new addition. No politicking, but I'm baby kissing, preaching my position. He like my show, say it's wholesome, enriching. Laugh at my jokes like hyenas, eat me in my kitchen. Put aside time for y'all to 69, 27 years behind, so guess I'm 96ing. Jesus Christ, good Lord, I have risen. I am what your man thinks about while he in prison. I got the clout, got the grip, got the vision. Got you swerving on my lane, avoiding a collision. I'm on the tip of the top, yeah. I see you cooking, but y'all know I'm the top chef. I got butter for your rolls. I should hit the post, cause I see that it's me who you watching. Watch your back. If you think you in front of me, you could drop dead like a heart attack. I'm the starting quarterback, you the second string. It's the championship title and I'm going for the ring. Y'all would rather lay low and complain about your mundane lives, sitting listening to Cobain. I dance like a stripper while you do the hokey pokey. My fit's looking real good, your fit's looking okay, but that's okay, better luck next time. Trouble getting women, I prefer you don't address mine. And your very best, don't impress me. Talking all that boo-hoo, got me feeling testy. I go shopping, see what the thrift store dropping. Your boo's looking fancy, my goons just might rob him. All them other girls aside, I'm your biggest problem. Ayy, yeah. All them other girls aside, I'm your biggest problem. I'm on the tip of the top, yeah. I see you cooking, but y'all know I'm the top chef. I got butter for your rolls. I should hit the post, cause I see that it's me who you watching. I don't wake up, I stay woke. You busters don't stick up, you stay broke. No quarters in a payphone, I'm really out here, they just stay home. And if you looking for your man, he doing what I say so. I write the D like a freak do. Word on the street when I peek, there's a sequel. Very unequal, you cannot be like me. Pretty in the face, get these other ladies hyphy. Get these other ladies hyphy. Get these other ladies hyphy. Pretty in the face, get these other ladies hyphy.
All right, Top Chef there by Heady Betty. And so there's a lot of obviously bravado in your songs. I think it's not exactly an uncommon theme when it comes to rap and hip hop. But do you find yourself finding common themes and threads that you are constantly going back to, or is this more of is every track a hype track?
No. So not all of my songs are hype tracks, as you will see in the next one. However, that's the style that I like. You know, I love Megan Thee Stallion. I love Cardi B. I love Dreezy, Saweetie. Like, I love the female rappers that are in the game right now, and I am obsessed with what they're doing. And, like, if I could come anywhere close to that, I'm down with it. And, like, this is the kind of music that me and my girls are listening to, you know, while we get ready in our house together. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to be bringing people. But I also have other projects where I'm doing a little more, like, getting into my feelings and, you know.
Why do you feel that, why do you feel that now is this time when there's so much female empowerment in hip hop? Why are people like Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B really coming to the fore now as like kind of the premier female artists of the moment?
Well, for one, dudes be falling off there a little bit, just to be honest. Like, some of the stuff that is getting a little lazy. And I think, you know, that's not the only thing. I think the other thing is that women, like, people hear women in hip-hop and they're like, that's really good. Like, how does WAP get to #1 in the world with 2 female artists? Like, that shows you right there that it's not, like, female hip-hop. This is hip-hop. And I think, like, the progression has happened really quickly in the past, you know, few years, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
And let's talk a little bit about that EP that you're making. So you said it's going to be up on Spotify soon. Tell us a little bit about the process, creating it and getting the tracks together.
Well, when I first started showing people my music, they would be like, where can I listen to this? Where can I listen to this? And, you know, sometimes I would put stuff up on SoundCloud, but I honestly would, like, be reworking songs so much that I would end up taking them off and putting them back on so many times that it was like, I think people just kind of lost it. And I talked to Ben, and he recommended that I drop, like, a whole project together. So, like, you know, 5 songs or so. It started with the first song that I ever did, Children, and went to Modest Rich Life. And then just the other songs kind of started coming in. And the whole process of making it was so fun. The whole process of editing it and trying to make it into like a final version of what I want is excruciatingly painful. I just hear things like the final version and I'm like, no, I don't like that. I want to re-record that. I want to cut that out. And so, yeah, shout out to Zach for dealing with me because I've had him do probably too many washes at this point. But I'm dedicated to putting something out there that I can really stand behind.
Yeah, for sure. We often talk to people on this show about that first project and it definitely being like, you know, your baby, and you bring it out and you have to let the world see it, and it's very intimate. But also the process of creating someone's first record, you learn a lot, especially in terms of what you're going to take with you going into your second record or making that full length album. Is there anything that you feel that you've learned creating this that is going to stick with you in terms of moving forward and going and making maybe that full length album or that second EP?
I would love to find a studio to record in. I've been doing everything myself, and while I like creating by myself sometimes, like having that experience with Carlos and having somebody there just to like record my things and like give me instant feedback, and I'm not like, you know, judging myself the whole time. I get somebody else to like bounce ideas off of. That I think was super productive for me. And I think going forward, I would like to do a lot more of that. I would also like to do a lot more collaborating with other people.
So, so from what I'm hearing in terms of like the actual creative process, at the beginning it's more of a solo thing, but you're realizing now that you'd rather have people around you when it comes to actually laying this down.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, now if I'm getting to that point where I want to make music that people listen to, you know, I want to have people listening while I make it so I can have that kind of feedback. Also, I'm, you know, super harsh on myself, and like everybody knows that feeling when you have like a favorite song and you listen to it so many times that you like don't want to hear it again. And that is how I get with recording. And so it's like, I feel like it would be a lot more productive and go more quickly if I had somebody there to be like, no, like it's still good. You've just listened to it too many times today, and like you should probably take a break.
Right. And tell us a little bit about your COVID experience, because I mean you're almost not here today because your roommate got COVID, and thankfully it looked like it was a false positive, and the rest of the house was negative. But in terms of being able to squirrel yourself away for a few months and everyone was in lockdown, how'd that experience go for you? Because we've really heard mixed results from other people who have come in the studio.
It was like a roller coaster, you know. Some days you wake up and you're like, I'm getting my life together, I'm doing all these projects, and some days you do, and some days you say that, and it's like the 8th day in a row you like got day drunk and just like slept on your couch and made mac and cheese, and you're like, that's good enough.
Did you find it to be a more creative experience for you with that kind of that extra time to be able to focus on your own work, or is it too much? And as you said, it's sometimes easier to eat a whole box of mac and cheese and get yourself tanked on a cheap bottle of vodka.
Well, it's funny. I want to collaborate more with other people who I'm working with, but in terms of having people around me, I just like I get distracted, and also like I know it's bothering people like in my house. There's so many people there all the time, and then you just like picking up noise in the background and things like that. So again, a studio. If anybody has a studio, they want to let me in there, call me, email me, text me, let me know.
I'd say there's plenty of studios around Burlington. You've got to pay for them.
You would think, right? But, I mean, I'm looking for a little charity.
There's certainly a few people that have come on this show that, especially during COVID, they kitted out their full basement with like their own studio. It tends to be, people who are grown up a little bit and have the kind of disposable income to do so. But there's probably a few homemade studios in people's basements. Yeah,
I considered making one of those myself as well. So we'll see. We'll see where things go.
So you talked a little bit about collaboration and wanting to do a little bit more collaboration. what you're looking for when you want to collaborate with someone. Like what kind of qualities do you feel are balancing your qualities and to create a different kind of track or a different kind of sound?
I really like, in general, like songs where you have a female and a male artist like coming on, but I also, even more so, love a song where you have like two female artists. And if I could find another female rapper in this area who would want to like connect and do some work together, that would be ideal for me. Like, I feel like that would be like the best inspiration I could possibly receive, is to have another lady here doing it with me. But like, that being said, I still really love working with anybody who can bring something that's like hard, like I really love hard rap. And in Burlington sometimes you get a little like, I went outside today and saw a sunflower and it was beautiful. That's like not the vibe I'm going for. As much as I respect that and like I appreciate it bringing like an aspect of positivity, it's like not my style. So I'm really looking for somebody who's gonna bring something that's like punchy.
Have you ever considered collaborating with like bands and have like a band behind you?
I wouldn't even know how to begin doing that. Like, but if anybody has any suggestions, I am open. So let me know.
Is there anyone in Burlington that you have got your eye on, or you would like to collaborate with, that you've heard or you've seen, and you're like, that's the sort of person I would want to work with?
There's been a few people, like Asa Mac is one. He and I have like done a little bit of work together, but it's always about like we have to find somebody who's like a producer who is available at the same time that we're both available, who's like both also motivated to like get down and do some work. But also Chase is somebody who I've had come over and do a few things with, but nothing's really come to fruition yet, so looking forward to that in the future. All
right. So finally, we are running out a little bit out of time, but I want to just go back to the EP. You said you're still in the kind of editing process at the moment. Have you got an ETA on that? And if you have got kind of an idea of when that will be out, are you going to do anything for it? Are you going to try and promote it? I know gigs are few and far between these days thanks to COVID, but is there any plans to kind of push it out into the wider world?
So I'm going to say November 15th is like that's my date I'm setting. It was today, but, dreams don't always come true, unfortunately, kids. So I'm going to get a lot more serious about trying to get it done in a timely manner. And in terms of promoting it, I kind of just, show people my music here and there. And if they like it, then, they want to follow me and, share it with their friends. So that's all I'm doing at the moment. A little bit of Instagram stuff, but not really. So I just kind of want to like get out there so I just want to have like a project that I finish, that I put out there that people can listen to, so I can move on and start making new music. Yeah, for sure. And I would say that you saying that November 15th is the date that you want it out, it's a very short deadline. So I wouldn't worry too much that you've pushed it back a little bit. We are this close, y'all. So close. Is there a title of the EP? Have you got a name? Probably just a Heady Betty EP. I don't know. Classic. I might get, like Slim Shady, but... well, imitation is flattery. All right, we've got about time for one more track. So what have you got to play us out with? This one's called Demons. Creatures coming after me, preachers saying I'm unholy. Ain't an exorcist alive to crucify my mind. That's what my mama told me. Riding with my demons, you can see them, you can see them. I got creatures coming after me, preachers saying I'm unholy. Ain't an exorcist alive to crucify my mind. That's
what my mama told me. Riding with my demons. You can see 'em, you can see 'em. Mama, daddy, please forgive me. Reverend's requesting that I get a little Jesus in me. Lord Almighty, goddamn, I go Cabana, go Tony Santana, coming up empty-handed when I asked the sky for answers. I caught the devil, now we dancing. I fall in step like 1, 2. God only bless me after at yous. They ain't praying for you, they praying at you. It's time for chapel. I'm Eve, the snake, the poison apple. My favorite chapter. Creatures coming after me. Preachers saying I'm unholy. Ain't an exorcist allowed to crucify my mind. That's what my mama told me. Riding with my demons. You can see 'em, you can see 'em. I got creatures coming after me. Preachers saying I'm unholy. Ain't an exorcist allowed to crucify my mind. That's what my mama told me. Riding with my demons. You can see 'em, you can see 'em. Thank y'all for having me here tonight. A little listening pleasure for your Wednesday when you should be at church. Praise the Lord.
Heady Betty sending us out with demons there. Emmy, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank y'all for having me. Have a good night.
So check us out next week. We're going to have George Nostran coming in the studio. I won't be here as it will be the day after the election, and I'll be incredibly busy on the State House lawn. So if you can't listen in, please join us there. This has been 105.9 The Radiator, The Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proctor, and good night.